A journalist asked the question, "Sir, you've been going to different states. It does not come that cheap. Who is actually sponsoring the movement?" We know when people do such a thing, it could be politically motivated, probably getting ready for 2023, no matter what it is. Yes or no? Oh, I'm not being bankrolled. People have said, oh, you would have said this, you would have. But let's get talking with some individual. First is to bring in an investigative journalist, Seun Awosika, who runs awosika.com, to share with us his thought about what has been trending thus far. Several newspapers, the Daily Trust had it as a major headline yesterday, if you've been following, and it's a very good one. Okay, so let's get talking. Good morning, Seun Awosika. Just give us your overview of the FFK and the bankroll matter thus far. Good morning, Seun Awosika, if you can hear me. Seun Awosika of awosika.com. If you can hear me, let's get...
Good morning, Chris.
Yes, go ahead. Let's get your overview, if you had my question. You're just an overview of FFK and the bankroll issue trending.
Definitely two sides of the coin. There's been talks about whether the question from the guy was properly framed or not, and there's been so much talk about the response or reaction from FFK. So I'm going to take it one after the other. Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with the framing of the question. I think it was just a question, armless question. Sometimes it doesn't matter how you ask this question, how you frame it, but what may matter most is the reaction. I think it was a poor showing by a two-time minister. It was quite disappointing. But what was most disappointing for me was what followed from the journalist. I mean, the apologies were unnecessary. The repeated apologies, and the attitude of his other colleagues. He was trying to extract an information which was very important. If you go to the background, now FFK, if you remember, has been figured for corruption in the past. This is a man with a questionable character. He was not holding any political appointment. He is not holding any political appointment, as we know. And this is a man who has gotten into trouble with the AFCC, some other anti-graft institutions in the past, and you go around spending money to tell states. Number one, is it not important to know in what capacity he was doing that, and is it not worthy of note? Hello, Chris.
I'm with you. Go ahead, Seun.
Okay, is it not also worthy to know from whose pocket the money that has been spent for these stores is coming from? So is the question necessary? Absolutely. Was it properly framed? To me, it wouldn't matter much. But the reactions that followed from both FFK and the journalists is why this has been trending.
So let's go forward, Seun, if you can hear me. He has visited several states. These are governments of states welcoming him. What would you make of that? Because he still have his issues around courts, around anti-graft agencies like you established, and governments sitting governments are actually welcoming him. Is that not rubbing off some kind of stain on the personality of these governors?
Well, it's been said in the past. In fact, former president Olusegun Obasanjo, who gave FFK his first political appointment, first as Minister of Culture and Tourism, then Minister of Aviation. He said, Obasanjo said that all you needed was to give FFK food and it would dance for you. The governors who were, again, this is why the question was very important, to know in what capacity he was doing this and who was bankrolling. The governors who were welcoming him want them to use him for a purpose. So I think that was exactly what journalists was driving at. Is he doing this for the PDP? Is he doing this for the governors? Why exactly is he doing it? Because FFK is a man with questionable character, and it's known to everyone. These things are not hidden. All you need to do is punch his name on Google and tell me the things that you find. So, for the governors, yes, it does rub off on their personality. So, don't we deserve to know why they would welcome such a man with questionable character? Don't we deserve to know who exactly is bankrolling the stuff?
Interesting there. Let's take the last one, which is actually where the press freedom comes in now. People have been saying that it is in this climb that we're facing things like this. We ended the month of July with hate speech, and it culminated into coming into where even a politician now will be lashing out at a journalist. What's your fear with the media and journalism in Nigeria vis-a-vis?
Hello, did I get that properly?
What's your fear? Do you have any fear with Nigerian press freedom vis-a-vis the freedom of information bill that we have?
Okay, I'll take it from the first one. Now, my fear is if the NUJ, Nigerian Guild of Editors, and all lie low and let it go, the fear is going to become a norm. It's going to become a norm. The truth is, it is not new. It's been happening, and they've been getting away with it. Now, I've seen two from FSK where he was insulting journalists. There was one from Sampara. There was the one from, I think, a Zoom meeting organized by Ben TV, where he used same words. They're calling journalists unprintable names. So it's something that has been going on. And I fear that if journalists do not stand up against this, it's going to become a norm with our politicians. So I think it's high time journalists stood up against such once and for all.
Okay.
Now, you talked about the Freedom of Information Bill.
Yes.
Well, it changes nothing really. It changes nothing really for me. It's there, it's explicit, you can go over it again. Ordinarily, if you serve to tackle. Hello?
With you, Seun, it was breaking up earlier.
Okay. It should tackle all the issues we wanted to tackle. But unfortunately, it's the way we are wired in this country. The who am I? Do you know who am I syndrome? It rings everywhere. So it's not just about the laws that we create. It's not about the laws that are signed. It's about our general reorientation.
Oh, great.
I've seen journalists interview politicians in the UK, I've seen journalists interview politicians in the U.S. You can take the example of Trump, for example. I mean, those are sane people. So that's a sane democracy. I mean, so it's not about the laws. It's laws that will create. It's not about the laws that will narrow reorientation.
All right.
That is what we need right now as a people.
All right, Seun, before I let you go, it's important that we actually find out from you. This morning on the Nation newspaper, the NBC is saying that the broadcast code, in alignment with the 5 million naira issue, is not yet into law. What do you make of that? 5 million naira, if you talk against any, not even speaking against, if you speak about a situation in your country and you mention names, you might be fined 5 million naira using Nigerian info as a case study. What's your take on that as a media practitioner?
I think it's a new law. It's a new law for the Nigerian government. I think it's a new law for the Buhari administration. I think it's a new law for journalism altogether. It's terrible, really.
Okay. Seun, I want to thank you very much for joining us this morning. We know you have a lot to do as a media player. Go ahead and succeed. Let's continue this conversation subsequently. Many thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, Chris.
Yes. Okay, so that was Seun Awosika of awosika.com giving us inside scoop. As a journalist, he has a lot of followers on his platform talking about the situation and how it's been thus far. With that said, we're going to be having a legal perspective